Alrighty, so grab your cable. I want you to notice this cable is actually written on, and it tells you what they're for, what each connection is for. There should be 3 connections on your cable. 2 of them should be real close to each other, and 1 of them will be real far away. The one that's furthest away is for your CPU board, also known as your motherboard. Okay? So the one that's furthest away goes into your motherboard. I want you to look at the IDE numbers and find IDE 1 and plug this into IDE 1. It didn't matter. Didn't matter. For now we're just going to learn how to plug them in and so on. There's only one way that it goes in. I'm explaining in a minute. But all your cables should have the little key on it. There's a little indentation on it. And if you look at your connector has a little notch cut out where that indentation goes. Now the proper way to know which way to orientate your cable is through this red wire. Does everybody have one red wire on your cable? That red wire means it's pin 1. Okay? Pin 1. So we know if there's 40 pins in here, we know 1 is on this side, so 40 has to be on the other side, correct? Because it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way to 39 and 40. So now we look at our motherboard, and we look for a 1 or a 40 on either one of the 2 connections, either one of the 2 sides of the connection. So if you look in IDE 1, up on top I have a 2, which means right under that is 1. So 40 is on top over here, and you see 40 over there, because it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way to 39 and 40. So if I find pin 1's on this side, I grab my cable, there's my red wire, so red wire has to be on pin 1. Oh, wrong end. Red wire has to be on pin 1 is on this side. I orient it in the correct way, and I just push it in all the way. Everybody see that? What does the red wire mean? Pin 1. All right. Luckily, they've kind of made it dummy-proof by putting the key on it, so it won't go in unless it's right. But on older systems, there's no key. On older wires, there's no key, so you will be able to put that cable in the wrong way, and it will not work. It won't even give you an error message. It just won't work. Alrighty. So we know we have 2 connections of IDE. How many total drives can I connect on these connections? 1 piece. Anybody else? Look at your cable. Not 3, because 1 has to go into the board. So 2, right? I can connect 2 drives on each cable. So I can have a total of 4. 4 drives with 2 connections. So I have that connected there. I connect 1 hard drive here and another hard drive up here. Each cable has 2 connections, and there's 2 connections. The 2 connections are called primary and secondary. So for IDE, oh, I need purple. I have a primary connection, and then I have a secondary connection. I have 1 and 2, right, on my motherboard. The primary can have a master and a slave, 2 connections, and the secondary can have a master and a slave. Whenever you disconnect these cables, what I want you to do is grab it by the loop, if you have a loop. Okay, grab it by the loop and pull it by the loop. If your cable has this little plastic thing on it, grab it by the plastic. Pull it off with this. If your cable has nothing, or if this is ripped off, what I want you to do is grab your hand, put your whole hand under it, and pull it out as one unit. Okay? Because if you pull on this like that, you will rip it. Okay? You will rip this cable. Or break the wire. But I'm talking about you will actually rip it. Alrighty. So I'm going to pass around a couple of IDE hard drives. All drives have two connections. There's a power connection to turn on the drive, and then there's a data connection to transfer the data. These are all data connections. We have not talked about power yet. When we look at these hard drives, there's going to be two connectors on it. One of them is going to be for your IDE, and that's only to transfer your data. The other one's going to be for your power. And when we get to power supplies, we'll talk about these, what they're called, and so on. All right? But this is only data. This will not work without power. Here, pass them along, please. All right, so everybody has a hard drive, an IDE hard drive, correct? All right, so let's go ahead and plug in our cable here. And the other one will go to our motherboard. Okay? Very simple connection, right? On your hard drive, you also have an orientation. A newer hard drive will have the indentation for the key so that it goes in correctly. But if you look at the bottom, you will find jumper 1 and jumper 40 on it. Jumper 1 is for what? For the red cable. So jumper 1 goes towards the red cable. Now on your hard drives, it's pretty simple to find out where jumper 1 is because it's always closest to your power. This is your power connection right next to it, right? So jumper 1 will always be right here, right? So the red wire will always go towards the inside.
So does it say jumper 1?
If you look at the bottom, it will. See? 1 and 40.
Oh, A's.
Yeah. It'll always have something different. Sometimes it has J1. Mine just has a number, a 2 and a 40. That's it. Or sometimes it'll just have 40, and that's it. That means that 1 is on the other side. Any questions so far with IDE? Simple data connection. Now, there's a configuration method to IDE. And because of this configuration is why most of the time when people install an IDE hard drive, they have trouble with it. First, I'm going to show you. My purple mark. What did this do? The abbreviation for master would be MA. The abbreviation for slave is SL. And there's one more, it's CS. And this is for cable select. This is for something called jumper settings. You have to configure this correctly on your drive. If you look at our hard drive, there's one more section. There's a section in the middle. Okay? And then there's a little piece of plastic stuck in there. If you can, try to pull that little plastic out with your hand, just like so. If you can't, let me know and I'll let you borrow some tweezers or a knife. Whenever I can't get it out, I actually use a hobby knife and I just use the very tip to leverage that out. Or you can use needle nose or a screwdriver or some tweezers. Can anybody not get it out? Can anybody not get out the little jumper in the middle? Did you get it out? It'll be a very tiny little thing. It looks like this.